as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King, and lately I've been receiving so many compliments about my new look. Well, the person responsible for this new look is sitting here with me in the studio. His name, for those locally, is Cy Lawrence, and he's here in the studio. Simon, welcome to Marbella Now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
In fact, just walking through the studio now, one of our cameramen, Raoul, looked at me and said, "Your hair, completely different."
Oh, bless.
And when I look at my business cards that have got me with my dark hair, and then I see myself blonde, I have to say it's funny, you've done it in such a way that I still feel it's me.
Correct.
I don't feel that I'm not looking at me, even though the hair colour is completely different.
Correct. Well, there is a reason for that. When you are colouring, you have to take into account the skin texture, the makeup style that the client normally likes to wear. Obviously, you will then take in the curl. Now, remember, a curl will accentuate a haircut. So when you put any colour through, it's going to almost disappear. So you have to do it fairly strong in certain places to lift the hair. And that's basically what colour does. Colour should not change you. Colour should enhance you.
Well, it's funny because I always say you never know who you're sitting next to in Marbella, and I was not sitting next to you, I was standing next to you, singing in Karen Danzig's choir, and when we finished, you literally looked at me and said, like, you know, I've got a vision for your hair and to lift your look. And then I found out that you've been a hairdresser, what, with Giselle Sassoon for over 20 years.
Yes, yes.
And you have all this experience that you make wigs, and then I began to know enough about you to want you to come on the program, because
Thank you.
what you do is amazing. For me, I'm delighted.
Thank
I
you
have
very
loads
much.
of hair, and you've actually changed my whole look. I love it.
That's great.
Loads of compliments, and it was your vision. You saw me
Yes.
and said, "Nicole, let me do this," and I'm so grateful.
Good.
But the reason I really wanted to bring you on the show is for the people who don't have lots of hair like me,
Correct.
and you
Correct.
really specialize in that.
That is right.
And I know this is, I know what my folks say, I'm Samson if my hair's not right. Very good
Yes.
friend in Madrid, when I was complaining about having so much hair, because people always comment, "I've got so much hair."
Sure.
And she bent her head down and said, "What would you prefer?" And never complained since, because it's our image, it's what people see, it's everything
And
about
it's emotional.
us.
It's emotional.
It's emotional.
Yes. And it can basically lift someone from quite a depressive state into, I wouldn't say joyous, but I would say more like themselves. And when I talk to a client about any hair product, one of my favorite saying is that I bring the volume or the density of the hairpiece to make your hair come back to how it used to be or should be in a perfect world. So that no one can tell you have a hairpiece on, it just looks how it should do, natural.
Well, I found out actually that quite a few people that I know wear your hairpieces, and I had no idea.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely no
Yes.
idea. And in these cases, they are these volumizers that you talk about that are literally, you just
Correct.
put them in just to give you that extra bit of volume. I had no
Yeah.
idea either that women are so propense to losing our hair.
Well, there are 2 or 3 things here. First of all, from a health point of view, if you have any forms of alopecia areata is thinning. When we say thin, we don't just mean texture of hair, we mean the density, how many hairs per square centimetre. And so therefore you can blow dry your hair beautifully, but you would do it yourself or the hairdresser, you go out to the salon and it just goes flat. What we now try and do is to create this rounder look, and that's what a hairdresser should be doing. He should be looking at both the structure of the face, he should be looking at the shape of the face, he should be looking at the type of clothes a client likes to wear, and also their lifestyle. Therefore, what you then have is to create this volume, we'll create this rounder look as opposed to a square look. And really, this is the whole essence. Everything I do, though, is custom made, made to measure, and it's all made by hand. You can buy the odd volumizer. Some people call them toppers in a shop, but generally they're made of either Chinese hair mixed with yak goat hair or synthetic. And there's one size fits all, which is so not the case.
No, and with something as important as our hair, in the sense you don't just wear any clothing and you
That
want
is
something that
correct.
suits you, that fits
is
you,
correct.
that looks right. And the fact that you actually make wigs and pieces
Yep.
for the specific person,
That is
having
correct.
also seen your insight as a hairdresser, I think is truly inspiring.
Thank you so much. That's great to hear.
How did you get into that? I mean, I know that you were a very acclaimed hairdresser.
Yeah, yeah.
Also here on the Costa del Sol. He visits your house, so that's really convenient, even in COVID. But how did you get into the wig part of it?
Sure. Well, I spent many, many years at Vidal Sassoon at the Sloane Street hair salon. We had a lot of celebrities coming in. And I don't know why, but when a celeb came in, there was, oh, Sam, you know how to maintain this. I didn't have a clue. So literally just blag it. I mean, look, when we say about maintain it, we mean shampoo it, treat the scalp, etc. From that point, I then was speaking to many managers of Vidal Sassoon, of the salons around the country, and we all agreed there's at least 12, 14 clients coming to the salon in total who have got hair loss or hair thinning problems. It was at that point I thought, no, I now need to know what's going on. So I learned how to actually make wigs by hand. And
That's a big step to take.
Massive
How old were
step.
you when you suddenly decided, I know, I'm going to become a wig maker?
26.
I mean, that is a big...
Yeah, and I went to China for about 6 weeks because they are the biggest, let's say, manufacturers on a large scale. They're not custom made. They make them very beautifully, but they are really stock items. But I learned the methodology and what have you. Then I studied with a trichologist about the various types of alopecia for ladies and men. And it moved on from there. And now I have an academy and I teach people all over Europe how to make wigs, how to do non-surgical hair replacement for men and women, and so on and so forth.
And that's really nice as well because it's the non-invasive. Again, I'm all in favour of non-invasive. You
Correct.
have, I think you mentioned to me once at choir, was it 25 odd ways of fixing the hair? Because
That
a lot
is
of people, when
correct.
you say, oh no, thinning hair, but there's nothing to fix it to, you've also addressed that.
Oh yes, well especially let's say for men. It's very interesting. A man will start losing his hair, especially let's say in the Asian community. It's simply in their DNA, sadly. They start losing their hair at 18 plus, which is crazy. And so years ago, they would say, oh, well, never mind, I'll just shave my head. And that was fashion. Now it is the reverse. Fashion for men is they want hair and they want it faded on the side. So we make a hairpiece for them. And how do we attach it? Well, we attach it with various types of glues or tapes. They're all hypoallergenic and they all will stick anything from 1 to 7 days or from 7 to 28 days, depending on the strength, and then they come back to me for maintenance.
But this is like, so someone can actually wear a piece and live in it, a normal life. They can
Absolutely.
shower and everything.
Shower, go to the gym, do whatever they want, and just forget about it. And then come back to me every 4 or 5 weeks. I will take it off. I will then clean the system. That's what we call them now. It's a new politically correct word. No one likes the word toupee or
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
toupee just doesn't sound right.
Doesn't sound nice.
No, it doesn't sound
And we clean their head, etc., and then we reapply. And that's maintenance, or in other words, it's called regrooming. Now, for a lady, though, so with a lady, what really upsets me, there are so many hair studios in Britain, and I'm sure it's not just Britain. All they know is that particular way of applying a system, man or woman. So what do? They shave the woman's head on the top. To me, that is the worst thing in the world. Whatever hair they've got, you must keep their hair. You must, and I actually, for people who are going to lose their hair through cancer, I actually often will shave their head because they want me to, when they know they're going to lose it within 2 weeks regardless. I will then use that hair plus other hair, if there isn't enough, to make their wig for them. I mean, when you have cancer, it is distressing enough. But when you've got a wig on, remember, they don't want a wig. They're angry they've been put in this position. Same with alopecia universalis. But if you can use some of their hair, they feel it's part of them and it belongs to them. So I do the same thing with men's as well.
What you do is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
I mean, we, as you say, if you're not sitting down, it's the first thing is, oh, go to the hairdresser, go get a makeover, make yourself feel nice. But when you take it to the stage, as you say, someone who's suffering from cancer.
Correct.
Or somebody that's losing their hair, in the
That
sense
is correct.
to feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love the saying that you say, when you say that when you've done it, it actually, by the end of the day, it becomes them. And I love the double entendre.
Yeah.
It becomes them because it
part
looks
of them.
good, it looks nice, but also it becomes them. It's
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
them. And I think that's a
Yes.
really nice way of looking at it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yesterday I put a man system on this guy. I would say he was bald, 3/4 of his hair is gone for probably 10 years. I put this system on, he looks at it, I'm not sure. But you can imagine what a change. He rang me this morning saying, it's great. He said, and then he used the analogy, which I thought was superb. He said, Simon, it's like going to the dentist. You come out thinking that this filling is like a large mountain in your mouth, and the next day you don't feel it anymore. It's exactly the same thing.
It became him.
It became him.
It became him.
Absolutely.
Well, it's
Yeah.
amazing what you do. Don't go away. Don't you go away either. We'll be back with Simon Bill, the amazing hairdresser, colorist and wig maker, not just on the Costa del Sol, after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hey, hey.
Judy likes to consider herself a clever young woman, which is why she thought very carefully before choosing her insurance company. Now that she needs it, she's jolly glad she chose Linear Director, as it looks as if she might have something better to do. Why don't you be clever, like Judy? Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 and see which policy is best for you.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a zero-hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Zero Hero, welcome to the Playlights.
Hello guys, welcome to Harbor. All the designated drivers are welcome here to the Harbor. And we are very proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
G-Wine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody, nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
If you've just joined us, you might not know that we are chatting with Simon Beale, locally known as Si Lawrence, and he is an amazing hairdresser who does his hairdressing salon is at your house, which is really nice, particularly in COVID times. But he's also a bespoke wig maker. I don't like the word bespoke, but it certainly fits here because he really does make unique pieces for the people who are going to wear them, and that is something so necessary. Simon, I'm so impressed with you.
Thank you.
So proud of you. It's a good thing that you do.
Thank you.
Looking nice is always a help for anything, even our health, I think. You know, when you gave me my
Sure.
new look, I've had so many compliments that I'm basically bouncing around life. I feel quite wonderful. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show that I'm dark-haired and suddenly I'm blonde, and yet I still feel it's me.
Correct.
And that is amazing. We're talking about the wigs that you make by hand.
Yes.
How you've trained to do that. When at 26 years old, you decided that this was something you could actually excel in.
Oh, yeah.
This is a piece you're making for somebody locally. So this
Yes.
is like a work in progress at the moment.
Well, this is finished. This is finished now. It was finished last week. This is European hair. When again, the very important thing about the word bespoke or made to measure is that we use hair which fits the texture of the client. So in this case, this is a Caucasian lady, actually from England, so we use European hair where the actual hairs themselves are much finer than, let's say, Chinese hair or Indian hair, etc. And this is very, very important as part of the consultation. So this wig here it's all hand knotted. There's one knot, one hair at a time, if you can imagine. There are 70,000 hairs on that wig.
You put 70,000 hairs in that wig yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how long does it take?
A couple of weeks.
I mean, that's like,
yeah.
That's real.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got now a couple of trained, they're all ex-students, strange enough, and now they work the way I want them to, so I do give them some work as well, because otherwise it's just impossible to run the business when you're doing everything yourself. But this particular item is great because this is a stretch lace wig. This will fit every type of client, whether they've got hair, they want it even just for fashion, they fancy a change tonight, they're going out, or let's say they've had cancer and the hair is going to grow. There is room to grow because of the stretch lace. And then we have a lace front. That means you wear a lace front if you're going to expose the hairline.
So that's the one thing I realised with your handmade to measure wigs.
Yeah.
If someone's hairstyle was always like combed backwards, with your wigs, you can do that.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to change your look to suit covering up that you're wearing a wig.
Not at all, not at all. This next item is actually made for a friend of mine in England. I've got to send it to him next week. He's actually a George Michael impersonator. Oh, no. So this again is all handmade, and this is probably from it's not, none of these are cut. You cut them on the client. So it's like a blank canvas. But if you remember, this is when he had very full hair, a little bit after the time of Wham, probably, and he had some highlights going through the front. So I've literally copied a photograph. But the beauty with this particular one is if a client does not wish to wear the wig at night, etc., etc., she wants to be able to take it off, and he's got, let's say he's got no hair, then with this particular one, I've added silicone patches all around, and they will then grip the client's head and won't move. Don't need any adhesive, nothing.
And if people touch your hair, I mean, what is it like to wear one of these
You tell
pieces?
me. Feel
So
how
like
light
with
it is.
someone, so yes, and you wouldn't even notice the meshing underneath or
No,
anything.
nothing whatsoever.
That's absolutely fascinating.
Look how shiny it is.
No, I mean, it's like a really healthy head of hair.
Well, that hair itself is from Poland.
Oh, hello, Polish hair.
And this hair is from Hungary.
But it's amazing, as you say, that you can even have it, that you can have the front done that way. And then also, which I think is really nice, is you have these fillers, the basic,
volumizers,
the volumizers.
which I'll show you now. Absolutely. Well, first of all, this is a volumizer. Some people call them toppers, a million and one names. But effectively what they're doing is they're going to lay on the top of your head. The colour will match absolutely perfectly your own hair in texture and colour. We then cut it in, so you literally, you do not see the proverbial join. And
so, I mean, this is where your expertise as a hairdresser really comes in.
Absolutely.
You're not just making the wig, you can finish the whole product to make sure you're really getting what your vision is.
Correct, but do remember, when I do a consultation, I'm wearing two hats. I'm wearing my hair replacement expert stroke wig maker's hat, but I'm also, though, wearing my hairdresser's hat. So we're then creating an actual hairstyle with the colour and everything, as if they're sitting with me in the hair salon.
It's absolutely fascinating.
And this is a way I've developed these special links, and this means we can put this on a lady. Let's say her hair is thinning here, it would fit there all the way around here, and there'll be no glue, no adhesive, nothing involved like that, no damage to the hair when I fix it, and she can keep it on for 4 to 6 weeks, comes into me, and I just simply take it off, give her a nice shampoo, and then pop it on again.
So this is amazing that these are permanent fixtures, and nowadays with everybody's into fake everything, whether it's boobs or eyelashes, there seems to be no problem anymore about adding things on. But this one, I think, is just, as I say, knowing people that don't have as much hair as me,
of course,
and then knowing that it's actually a larger problem than anyone
Oh,
thought
honestly,
about.
I promise you, you go to any salon along this coast, and every single salon will know at least half a dozen to a dozen clients who have got some form of hair thinning or hair loss problems. So what I then do is if I'm doing a consultation, I'll bring the hairdresser of that client into the conversation, and together we will create the look of the hairpiece to enhance and work with the hairstyle of that client.
Do you find that the hairdressers locally are willing to collaborate? I imagine they're
Starting to.
I think it would be a godsend, really, if you're not going to steal the client. You know,
Exactly.
don't tell them you're a good hairdresser.
But yes, but unfortunately, there are lots of egos flying around.
Well,
I am getting through. I am getting.
I think that is the
towards it
case,
now,
but
yes.
I think today's
Yeah.
part of the mission of today is people to know
Correct.
that you're out there. This is
Exactly.
possible because when we start creating the demand, they will come.
I hope so.
And I
absolutely.
can't imagine there not being a demand. As I say, I know a lot of people who don't have as much hair as they would like. And as you're saying, even men now,
Yeah.
yes, you can shave your head, but if you can have a look that is fixable, that you're not every 5 minutes taking on and off a toupee, which I think is what people
Absolutely.
think of.
Now, the other thing as well, with this type of system, let's just say the lady said to me, look, Si, I fancy, I'm going swimming a lot. Oh, it's the summer now and so forth. I want to be able to take it off before I swim. So I take these off, these links, and I replace it with snappy clips so they can take it on and off as they desire. So in other words, it's not something where they're stuck with. They can move with their way of life during the year.
I love that you've started an online academy.
Correct.
Because not that you're old or you're going anywhere soon, but obviously you want to share this and other people be able to also carry on your good work.
Yes. Well, up till now, I have an academy called the GLH Hair Academy and Wig Academy in the UK, and I've also taught in Paris, in Munich. Last year I was in Paris, Munich, Barcelona, and Madrid, teaching people. All my classes are one-to-one. However, though, I then started to get so many people who were inquiring with me, do I come to Puerto Rico or somewhere like this? And we realized, well, this is crazy. But we are going to be doing it in an extremely professional way. This is not going to be like you get on YouTube and you think, oh, I can learn hairdressing on YouTube, which really upsets me, but because it's really undermining people's knowledge. No, instead, they will they'll have probably about, let's say if there are 12 different chapters in the wig making course, each chapter they will have to show their work. There'll be a questionnaire, they'll have to write essays. So this is not going to be easy peasy. This is going to be very tough because I won't let anyone go out there who doesn't have knowledge. After that, they do have me for up to 1 year for support, which is very, very important.
Obviously, to share a lifetime's experience and all those little things that just come up that you found a way for, they will only find out when they come up themselves and not frequently.
That's right. So the name of the online academy, it starts next month, is going to be called hairmaster.academy.
Hairmaster.academy.
Yeah.
Do we call you Hairmaster?
Oh, to me, absolutely.
Well, the Hairmaster.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow of a doubt. So how long have you been out here on Marbella?
3 years now, going on for 4.
You loving it?
Ah, yes. It's like being on holiday every day, even though you're working. But also, I would say acquaintances. Friends are different. Acquaintances I've got far more than I ever had in England. Because I think people are happy here because they've made the conscious decision to change their lives.
And you've made a conscious decision to get out there and meet people. You joined the choir.
Yes.
You go to play at the Hogan Stand, the quiz every Thursday with Hannah.
And also I'm going to be joining Theatre Club when we get going at the ITS as well.
Oh, I'm a member there.
Oh, that's right. Well, I used to be a professional singer in days gone by doing all the clubs in the north of England.
Well, it's funny, we've kind of run out of time today.
Okay.
But you have a very colourful life before Marbella, so I think we definitely have to bring you back.
Good.
But have you not thought about, before we finish, doing any singing here on the coast and serenading?
Yes, I am working something out now. I've decided I want to do that. The only problem, I think, there'll be more work, let's say, next spring, when you get tourists coming back. Until then, it's a little bit hit and miss.
A little
really,
bit hit and miss. So
especially
we
with,
will be
anything
hearing
on.
your dulcet tones in the near future.
Hopefully,
And in
hopefully.
the meanwhile, if you want to have a new look and like to have Simon come and do your hair, absolutely fabulous hairdresser. But as I said, even more than that, personalised wigs and hair pieces made to measure, not just if you don't have hair, but if you're just losing your hair and you have those
Just to enhance
patches
it.
to enhance it. And even if you're not losing, you just want a little bit more.
But I also, I know it ring up, but just very quickly, I also make for people accessories like ponytails for them exactly in their hair and fringes, all these sorts of things.
So you can just change your style by just
everything,
a little
absolutely
fixture.
everything to enhance or change the style with a hair accessory they wear when they're going out tonight.
Oh my gosh, what more could you ask for from the hair master? I like that.
Thank you so
Simon,
much.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
It's been an
thank you.
absolute pleasure.
Super. See you again. Thank you.
We can change if we try.